So what are we doing?
I guess we'll open it.
Okay.
Okay.
All set?
Yep.
All right, the time being 6:34, I will call to order the Tuesday, October 8th, 2013 public hearing of the Tilton Planning Board. First on our agenda is Planning Board Case 13-11, Site Plan Review.
I don't know if this is recorded. I got no lights going anywhere. Okay, talk again.
All right,
Yep, I got lights now.
want me to start over?
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. The applicant is proposing a bakery and co-op with crafters at property located at 407 West Main Street. Property is located in the Mixed Use District, tax map U8, lot 41.
Good spot.
And, let's see.
Okay, very close. Got any crafters left yet?
Hold on.
Yeah, we have some from Jersey and Philadelphia to New Hampshire.
Nice.
Good. Question I had on the application, does she need a driveway permit as part of her application?
That's coming.
It's coming.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be in the application.
Catherine has to sign it.
Okay, I guess,
Catherine has to sign
Catherine DeBracchio owns the building.
Oh, okay.
reviewed the application. Appears to be substantially complete.
I'll make a motion that we accept the application as it appears to be substantially complete.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Not opposing. I just have one question. There is something in here from the realtor. What is this supposed to be?
He is leasing the building for Catherine DeBracchio. That's her letter of like authorization to do it.
That's the pre-lease, as long as this goes through, then we'll do it.
The full lease.
But there's nothing from the owner of the property?
No. That's the only thing that he facilitates for her.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Give me Tilton one.
All right, that answers my question. Are you gonna ask the applicant to copy?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Would you like to come forward and talk to the board, I guess?
Well, this is my first time doing
Okay,
this, so
now you come right up here and tell us what you wanna do.
We don't bite, so you're okay.
Yep.
Well, most of us.
We really don't wear hoods and.
I just plan, my sister Laura and husband and I plan on having a bakery with, we have crafters from New Jersey, and she has a contract in Philadelphia, so they're sending their stuff here.
Mhm.
So we'll hopefully have a good variety. In the bakery, I'll be baking after work, so it's there for the next day.
All right. What about parking? Are you going to just be using the parking lot?
Pretty good size lot.
Yes, it is a good size lot.
There's 5 handicap in the front, so some of the vets will come down to eat. if they want to. They do, I can't sell my food to them there, so I just give it to them now as it is.
So the kitchen's been all checked out, and you're gonna be baking there?
Mhm.
Okay.
have a contractor that's gonna help me set that up to code.
Okay.
I have a grease trap.
Yep.
The hood, the fire suppression system, 3 basic ovens.
Have you talked to the sewer commission at all?
No, I haven't talked to her yet. I talked to
Okay.
her before when it was the other building.
Yeah.
So I know I need the grease trap and she's gonna come check
Yep.
it.
Okay.
It's exciting.
It is, it's very,
Have you discussed any of this yet, with the fire department?
not yet.
Because you should have your contractor get a hold of the fire department, because if you're putting in a kitchen, you know, they'll want to come and inspect at different points, just like the code enforcement officer will. So the electrician should know that, but just so that you know, so.
Okay. And then it's gonna be right where they had it at D-Roy's, the kitchen right in the front.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's still hookups in the wall.
Right.
or-
Okay.
Is it Johanna?
Yes,
Yes.
Johanna.
She would know that, right, where the hookups were.
Not necessarily. I mean, she might. I'm not gonna say she won't. All right. There's something else on. So now on the inside, I took it from looking at your drawing. The kitchen area, you're going to kind of have that side, like walled off area.
Well, this here has like a half wall, so I
Yeah.
can still watch.
Okay.
And that actually is big enough for the whole kitchen. We were
Mhm.
just there,
Mhm.
taking some photos. And my husband does photography, so he wanted to use that as a studio.
Right.
So that
Okay.
could work also. And this, where the loading dock is, would be storage.
Yeah.
For all the dry goods.
And then your bathrooms.
Yeah, there's
And-
2 bathrooms here
Yeah.
and 2 showers, which we would just use, one as a mop room and one as
Yeah.
storage.
And then the rest of this will basically be open where the vendors will have their tables?
And they're not required to stay there. It's gonna be like a little retail gift shop.
Yep.
So you come in and each person has a number, so what they ring up at the end of the night, what their sales are is what we
Oh,
would
so
send them.
So the vendors don't necessarily,
Mhm.
okay,
Consignment.
Like an antique
Yeah,
house.
yeah, like
Yeah.
consignment, yeah.
Except you don't take part of their sales, just a monthly
Right.
fee, because that
Right.
just doesn't seem fair.
Right.
Now, are you not planning to do anything on the second floor at all?
The attic, that's
Mhm.
not finished.
Okay. Well, there was an
Absolutely.
issue there before, that's why I was bringing it up.
Maybe some storage for Christmas
Okay.
lights or something, but not any, no.
Out of sight, out of mind stuff.
Yeah.
You're decorating stuff for different seasons.
Right.
Now, is this gonna be like a bakery where people come and get sandwiches, or is this like?
Yeah, I plan on having like a sandwich station, because I do fresh dough for calzones or pizzas, and so you can have whatever you want, and it's all prepped. So there won't be much wait time, hopefully.
Mhm.
Hopefully, yeah.
Depends on the crowds.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember what it was like when it was Leroy's.
Now,
It seems
was a while ago.
small.
well, I know the office was in the front, I
Yeah, it
remember
was in the
that.
front, when you
Took
walked in
the
that one door, it
registers
was
and- Yeah.
Yeah.
over in there. And then there were,
Registers, what,
there was the
2 or
meat-
3?
The meat counter was towards that side.
yeah,
Yeah.
the big counter, and then
Butcher was in the front, right?
the
Yeah,
You can watch him.
That's right,
yeah,
that's right.
fresh produce was,
in the back.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out, I
On the
remember.
left-hand side.
The one thing I'm
Yeah.
curious about, I just see you can do pet photos.
That's got its own entrance.
Okay, I was just thinking like.
That's where the
where
laundromat used to be.
Yeah, where, no, I'm just thinking where food
Yeah, it's-
Right.
coming
that's-
in,
That can be shut off completely, and it has its own entrance by the loading dock.
I mean,
Oh,
outside,
okay.
outside of service dogs, I mean, you can't, I don't think you can, though, they were, well, that's outdoor seating, never mind. I know there was talks with the state legislature to try to pass some type of law to allow outdoor, pets, like dogs at outdoor restaurants, but I don't know, I think that may have died in the legislature.
If you go strictly by the law, if a person brings their dog in and says that it's a service dog, you can't
No,
question that because it's covered under the
Correct.
ADA.
Now, is there any state, do you have to have, you know, permitting or anything through the state because you're making foods and stuff like
I'm
that?
working on the licensing for
Okay,
that.
yeah.
That's pending tonight, because I didn't
Okay.
want
Okay,
to jump ahead of the gun and then not have a place to.
right.
That's smart. And you're gonna offer craft classes?
Yeah, there's tables there that, yeah. If
Very
any of the
nice.
vendors want to teach what they do.
Great idea.
One of my bosses said she went to it's like a simple water class and she really enjoyed it. Water painting.
Mhm.
Oh, nice. Looks like you're gonna be busy.
Yeah.
I like it.
I just noticed on this one thing, at one point there was a mold problem. Is that been totally cleared up?
She's having the mold abatement team in there November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, so that will be cleared up.
Like 5% anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, just as soon not have it.
All that rain and
Yep.
all the stuff they had in the back.
Now, is any of this going to be coming outside? I mean, are you gonna be setting up, you know, like crafters or doing yard sales or?
I don't know what would be allowed. I was wondering if, like, if someone selling Christmas trees wanted to rent part of the, or parking lot. What are the laws on that?
Well, I think that we want to know about it. The people that were there before would set up tables outside. The only thing we did is, you know, the way the parking lot where you've got the entrance on the side and then the main entrance on Route 3, you've got two. They were trying to put things out along the road, and we wouldn't allow that because it was putting the pedestrians and the traffic coming in and trying to leave, you know, mixing them together. So, you know, we told the previous ones, and yell at me if I'm not right, that they had to keep any tables and stuff up by the building and over on this side where
On
the
the
grassy
grass.
side, so that the parking lot was still free for the traffic. Because, I mean, last thing you need is you certainly don't want somebody getting hit by a car because, you know, they're wandering around at the same time.
It also depends on what the insurance company will allow.
Yes, and
because
that you'll
there's
have to
one-
look into as well. But I don't think there'd be a problem if you wanted to do something like that, say in the summer if you were having sales and you had tables outside or something, but just remember not to mix it with the parking area. Because it's just like at the mall, sometimes you feel like you're taking your life in your hands.
Yeah.
Does she qualify as a bakery or is that as a restaurant? Is that, because for that zoning, wouldn't she require?
It's a multi-use.
It's mixed use.
Right, but if it's classified as a restaurant, it needs special exception.
Do they? For any kind of restaurant?
Within a fully enclosed structure with no drive-in service, no carry-out service, and no delivery service?
It's actually just a bakery.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
It's
that's
not really a,
Yeah.
But the licensing said to put it as
what I'm just checking.
restaurant, retail.
Restaurant retail.
restaurant retail because you are going to be serving food.
Yes. I don't know how many tables there will be, and that depends on,
With no delivery
How it
type of
grows.
service. On 311. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
If it's along 311, yeah.
We had like, what, 4 tables, showing 4 tables.
yeah, because I think that's what was on the licensing application, that was one of the selected ones she picked.
What is permitted with a star? Oh, along Route 3
Yeah,
only.
she's on there.
So she would be all right.
Yeah, no, I just was.
With no limitation on types of service is permitted along Route 3 in the mixed use.
Yeah.
Saved by the bell.
Yeah.
Or the star in this case.
The asterisk.
The asterisk.
I just want to make sure.
I understand. I don't blame you.
No, that's good.
Yep.
Well, I just wasn't sure if which we would classify that.
Plowing, my husband already has a friend that can plow.
Where are you gonna put your snow storage?
In the grass, can we go in the grass area? Or in the back?
Along the back.
Because
Should be some
those back parking spaces.
Snow storage would be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You
Here,
mean over here?
yeah, there on the grass or on the
Oh,
flat
back here
spots
on the
here.
grass. Yeah.
Because there's 38 spots, I think if 8 of them if it was snow, wouldn't
Mhm.
make a difference. Would it?
It shouldn't. But I guess it depends. I mean, I don't know what kind of business you're gonna do. You know, if you start filling your lot up, you may not wanna leave snow over
Send the
there.
boys out to shovel it.
All of
Okay,
it.
snow
These spaces could be very bad.
on Deer Street side.
Mhm.
Street side.
Yeah,
Are
sure.
you gonna go against the lots or are you gonna go against the road?
What have they done in the past? I don't want to flood out the yard, the
Well-
grass and make it.
Well, I was gonna say, you have to be
Probably
careful
was
over here now
plowed this way.
because you're, you have your setbacks.
I don't want to block off
There's this
vision
side, yeah.
coming out.
And you don't wanna block the vision, and you
There's no-
also have a
no
neighbor
space
right
behind
there.
the building on that
So
side.
you obviously don't wanna be dumping snow on their property.
Right, so they
What
need
if-
access.
Like in the front, between the road and the parking lot, is that something?
Oh, out here?
Yeah.
Well, if you put it out there, it's going to create a problem for your people who are trying to come in and out there once it gets so high.
And the kids going by walking to school.
And the
Yeah,
kids
right.
walking by, you're
Visibility's a
not gonna
problem.
see the children on the sidewalks.
Yeah.
So probably along the fence on this side would be the best.
Over here, but just make sure that you are not in your neighbor's property,
Oh, there's a fence there, so I wouldn't go over it.
okay? But you also
So how would I
have,
haul it away?
well, you'd have, no, you don't pay the town, you
Just
have
get
to have
contractor.
somebody come in when you get so much snow that you can't handle it. And they will scoop up your snow and put it in your truck and then take it off.
Oh, so like the person we have plow could do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I would
As long
check
as
with
they
them
have
and
a
make
snow
sure they'll
dump,
pick it up. You know, if you get too much. I mean, the last couple of winters, it's not really a big deal, but
Farmers
You
Almanac
never
says
know.
it's gonna be a snowy winter
I
this year.
know. And over here,
They're
just
liars.
remember,
Said
you've
that
got
last year,
setbacks
too. I
on the
know.
property,
One year they
20
didn't get
feet
it right.
all the way around. So you really shouldn't dump the snow in the setback either, okay? Anybody got any more questions?
No, I just wanna make sure that she keeps the snow away from the roadside.
Yes, I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
too.
that's-
So why don't we put that
That's right.
over there? How about
Good.
just,
Drainage grates in that lot?
And what?
Are there
Drainage.
drainage grates in that lot at all?
I think there is, but I'm not sure.
One, I think,
Yeah, I think there is.
Where,
down towards the bottom because it slopes
okay,
towards the,
I think it's in the corner.
I think it is too, but I
how
don't know.
about
With a
if I
sign.
put no snow storage along Route 3
Or Deer Street.
or Deer Street?
Oh, I know there's drainage on the corner of
Deer
Deer.
Street.
Yeah, it's,
That's what I think it is, but
That's
I.
it.
Yeah, as I seem to recall, there's a couple of drains
Yeah,
as
I
you're
think
going
there
out
is.
towards the main road. Okay,
Should be right down.
got it.
I think it's there.
Yeah.
There.
Wanna open up to public comment?
Yeah. Is anyone in the comment, in the public like to comment?
No, no, no.
None of my business.
All right.
Good thing we don't have John here.
It's not like your eyebrows have been saying, by the way.
So when do you want to be open by?
well, we wouldn't be able to get in there until November 3rd when they've done the mold abatement. So
Yeah.
probably be a couple weeks after that.
It's okay. So, yeah, that'll be good.
Black Friday probably, I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be slow, but we'll get there.
Good luck.
No, you get the inspections to go and.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll take a little time.
And Gus, just know Gus will
Oh, I've been helping her.
be your right-hand man, she'll help you in which.
Yeah, she has been.
We'd like to see something there that succeeded.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
had a lot of failures in that building.
Because DeRoy's was there for quite a while.
But the Royce is there forever.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah, D-Roy's, yeah.
it's like some of the things that went in there were wrong for the area.
Yeah.
Well, they were, you know, I mean, I can see something like this, you know,
Yeah.
would,
Working.
And this is gonna work out a lot better for her than the little building on the triangle
oh, no
that
question about
she
that.
first wanted, because it was,
Well, he wasn't very honest. He
No.
knew the zoning and he didn't.
Right.
Where was that?
where,
Well,
the graphics art place
Oh.
was right.
Down by the Citgo
He
station.
wanted, she tried to, well, she wanted to rent there, but he didn't really tell her what she needed. He said she had all kinds of parking and
5 spots right around the building and it just,
Yeah, that wasn't.
Didn't happen.
No.
so I have the paper he drew up, I have a lawyer help me get my money back.
Good.
The hassle.
Big lesson learned.
Start that way with somebody, you know it's only gonna go downhill.
He thought I was a quiet little lady,
You're quiet, but those are the ones you gotta watch out for, right?
So this closed the public part of it.
but not very.
Okay.
There was no comment from the public.
No public comment.
No public comment.
Well, you know, you gotta give
Well,
them
he
a
won
good
it,
chance.
but he chose Renee, so.
We really didn't
But
go
what-
down to
Uh,
that.
Down our notes.
I'll say if there's nothing else, then I'd like to make a motion to approve the site plan with the following conditions. Compliance with state fire codes, compliance with sewer commissioner requirements, no parking on the roadways, either Route 3 or Deer Street, compliance with the Tilton signage regulations. Now, you need to get and furnish the town with copies of all licenses or permits that are required. No snow storage along Deer Street or Route 3. Anything else?
what was number 3 again? Because I missed that one. So fire codes and then compliance with the sewer commission.
Oh, no parking on roadways, Route 3 or Deer Street. So you can park in the parking lot, but we don't want them.
Route
Is there a
3.
plan here? Actually, I didn't
Yes.
see this, a plan for signage?
Yeah.
Or am I just missing a page
No,
someplace?
she
No,
had something for
you're-
signage in
You
there.
should have it.
Yeah, she did. She did, I saw it.
And there's their sign.
It's on here, okay.
That's their
All
sign.
right.
I'm just saying, you know, I mean, the regulations will allow you so much signage. All I'm saying is compliance with that, that's all. I'm not saying she can't have that sign.
Do we get a copy of the health inspection if she goes through one?
Well, the health inspector will
One-
have all
No,
those.
but I know for the state she'll have to go through one because we're not a self-inspecting town.
Right, we're not a self-inspecting town, and they do. The only time generally that we hear from the health, you know, the state health is if she doesn't pass.
They don't give us copies of it though.
Right.
They'll give her a copy and they'll take one for their own file.
No, I didn't know if we.
No.
No,
No,
we just want to know that you got whatever licenses the state requires, and there'll be a few permits that you'll have to get to the town, like a building permit if you make any major changes to the building, put up walls, stuff like that. You'll have to see Al in her office, and he'll give you a building permit. And of course, the signage, if you're going to put up a new sign, you'll get a permit for that.
And all your plumbing and electrical has to be done by
Yes.
licensed plumbers and electric, because you're
Right.
public
And
building.
Okay.
And that will be, generally speaking, but you need to make sure, they should, whoever you hire for a plumber and electrician should come in and pull their own permits. They should, but it's up to you to ask, did you get a permit? You know, so that it keeps you square with everything, so that you're not, you know you're getting what you need to get. And then generally, and when you're all done and you're ready to move in, then you call the town and they will come out and do what we call a CO, or certified for occupancy, or whatever you want to call it. And at that is the fire department and the code enforcement officer. They come out, they just make sure that nothing was done in there that would be a fire hazard or anything like that. And then you get your CO and you're ready to open up the business. Except you have to see her about registering your business.
She already did that.
Okay. So that would be it. And
Everybody
that's
knows
my
that.
motion, unless someone wants to add something to it.
No? Nope. Second that?
Yeah, you're gonna second it, Rich?
Sure, why not?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Yes.
The
Okay.
police department has a list of safe contractors and
Yes.
electricians and plumbers in it too, so if you wanna check with them to get a copy of that list.
Make sure the ones I get are on it.
Yeah.
I'd recommend that.
And
Oh, yeah.
we always take copies of the license when they come in anyway, so we have a copy of their license that they are licensed in the state of New Hampshire, so,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, all right, you're all set with us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
We look forward to coming up and having a donut.
Yes, all
Yes, and
right.
roaming around the store.
Glazed, by the way.
You bake, right, instead of fry.
I don't have a fry later because that's more insurance.
Mm,
It's
And
not.
it's more of
It's
a
messy
hazard.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not as healthy
it's
as.
more calories.
Yes.
Building permit. Electrical, plumbing, and sign.
Okay, thank you.
You have them all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck.
Have a good night.
You too.
She is quiet, isn't she?
Well, you
Don't
can
want to run
imagine.
steep.
All set?
Me.
All right, moving on, number 2, 822 Laconia Road, South Bay, progress update.
Who is that?
R8/1.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Last week, Mr. Cirillo was up last Friday, signed the declarations, signed the bylaws, signed the agreement with the town to get it done in 120 days. I talked to Phil Hastings to see if he has recorded it yet. And the problem is he doesn't have a description for the convertible space in the back yet. So he's calling Eric Mitchell today to find out. Excuse me, let me shut this off.
It's always the way, right? I mean, it doesn't ring until it's annoying.
Pass out one of these to each person, or?
Yeah, I just gave you, that's everything, it's like copies of the minutes, copies of,
I have a
Oh,
pen.
this is
Okay.
big.
Yeah, one of
Um,
these.
So what's happened is, he was giving Eric Mitchell a call today, because I got a contract that I'm gonna let you guys see, with Eric Mitchell that I had him sign yesterday.
Right,
So he's gonna get the square footage of the lot that's gonna be up there, which will define the convertible space for the home that's gonna go way up in the back.
okay,
As soon as that's done, he says he's gonna send you guys, it should be within a week, he'll send you the copies of the declaration and the bylaw, so you guys can review them. Secondly,
well, I was just gonna ask you that, because you said he hasn't recorded them yet.
No,
He
he
hasn't
hasn't.
reviewed them
he
yet.
can't record, yeah, he can't, well, I assumed that he had, from the last ones he did,
Mhm.
for the last owner, that he would have had that information
Right,
on the convertible space, but evidently he never got that far.
oh, okay,
So what's happened is he has to add the
right,
description, the square footage, the area
Right.
up on the top of the hill for the convertible space, and that's all he's missing. Because like I say, Archie's already signed the declaration and the bylaws already.
mhm,
This is a copy of the proposal I gave to Eric Mitchell. I had 3 of them made, so you guys can see exactly what's gonna have to happen this time around, because the stormwater treatment that's coming down the hill,
yeah,
it's not just having the permit renewed.
yeah,
DES has a new way of treating that stormwater
Right.
now.
I know that,
And so we
yeah,
have to have a whole new design.
Yep.
And to make it really sweet and simple, the way the design is gonna work, it's almost like a leaching field. What happens is there's several layers of material that gets put down, and as the water is coming down, it just leaches into the ground.
right,
So, other than that, if you notice, I set a date on that, on the completion of it. I told him I wanted it done within 60 days, and if he couldn't do it within 60 days, I wasn't gonna give him the contract, so.
right,
Because I want to have this thing all done before the end of November, so I can go to Florida.
Now, what about your state permits?
He's gonna get them all. You mean DOT? He's-
Well, DOT, but I'm talking about, didn't you have to have a site-specific or wetlands permit?
Oh, Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, he's gonna get all that stuff.
Within 60 days?
That's what he says.
Well, I don't wanna,
I'm
I'm gonna be from Missouri on that.
I said to him, are you sure you're gonna get all these permits in 60 days? He says, yep, I can do it.
Well-
I think what has happened is there was a person that was gonna get it done. There was another guy I hired, but I wanted him to work for me, but Eric was really reluctant to give us the discs. So it got to the point that I had to go down there and say, either you beat this bid,
Mhm.
or I'm gonna have to hire some lawyers, because that disc belongs to me.
Right, you paid for it.
We paid for it,
Yeah.
and it was, I would have been here 3 weeks before,
Yeah.
but it was next week, and next
Right.
week. So I went down there last week, and I said to him, you have the disc? No, I said, all right, then here, bid on this. So he said, I'll match the bid. So I'm just hoping that he stands by his word, because.
Okay. I wanted to ask you too, now this was the unit you told us that something similar to this where you were going to put in for all the units?
Yeah, it is,
Is it still the same?
oh, let's go through this thing.
Okay,
You'll be able to get all that land work
Yeah.
done before
You
the
you
meetings
can
come?
get another drawing like this,
Okay.
except this will be changed, because of course Kathy McDonald's not in the picture anymore.
right.
This is basically what it's gonna look like when it's done. Okay, page 1. So you have that. The second page will basically look the same. This was what all the trailers and everything here, that's all gone,
Yeah, that's
as
gone now.
if you noticed.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
all
if you noticed how I cleaned up the front of South Bay
Yes,
within
you
the
did.
past week.
Oh, I know, I was
It's all
by there
done.
the
I
other
mean, I
day.
was with the owner, and I personally went in the back and crushed 7 jet skis. And they're on flatbeds, leaving the property Friday. 'Cause I'm
Right.
gonna get my machine up there, and we're gonna put them on flatbeds.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of other junk back there that we
Is
got rid of, because
Is that building near Route 3 gonna stay there, or is that part of the plan?
No, that's part of it, it's right
Oh.
here. Okay,
Okay.
Now, that's not an apartment, right?
I don't know what it is. It's supposed to be an office.
I know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's supposed to-
Somebody told me, and
Yeah.
I don't wanna say that you know,
Okay,
that's
but
why I'm
just
going
let
directly
me-
to
just let
me.
me say one thing. My responsibility is to get this project done.
Right.
What is happening there is really none of my business at this point. My
Okay.
business is, if the town wants to make it my business, they have to
Oh,
put
no,
it in
no.
writing.
No, I can
But-
go up there,
Yeah,
and I
okay,
think
that's-
we will.
That's not a yeah, that's not a problem, but if you do, I believe this is very specific, that anybody that walks on that property has to see me first,
Okay.
okay?
So
So,
if we wanna do a site walk, we'll call you.
oh, sure, you're more than welcome to do it.
No, but we'll call you and just say we wanna do a
Absolutely,
site walk.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. But give me like a couple more days, so I
Oh,
can get
no.
that back all cleaned up, because it's like, to be honest with you, we pulled out over 100 tires.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah, they're taking my truck tomorrow
Mhm.
on a flatbed, bringing all 100 of them down to Concord, so.
Okay,
So
well,
it's just kind of still messy up there, but by the weekend it should be pretty much cleaned up. So this is gonna stay the same.
okay,
And this will stay the same.
yep,
And this will stay the same. There'll be no changes.
okay,
This will be changing drastically, right here. All of this area. The way this water is gonna be treated,
yeah.
it's gonna be a whole new design. So
Mhm.
you guys will see a whole new design for this water management coming down that hill,
Okay.
which is what Eric's gonna do.
And
Right.
that,
And if you read what he's gonna do, is they're gonna go back out and recheck the wetlands, because after, 5 years, some of them shrink, some of them grow.
Right,
So,
well, and the fact that the wetlands rules and regulations
what-
changed
sure,
drastically.
yeah, so he's
Yeah.
gonna have to abide by all the wetland rules.
Yeah,
This,
I
this
expected
was,
that,
excuse me?
I expected that.
Yeah, it was too bad we couldn't get it done 5 years ago
Right.
and be done, but now it's gonna, it's just the way it is.
Mhm,
What can you do? This stays the same.
mhm.
This will change a little bit.
Yep,
and that some of this will change a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The slopes will stay the same,
Yep.
and this will stay the same.
Yep, okay.
And, at some point, here's a problem I have. Some of the project was finished. The inside of the main
The
house
house.
was done.
The 4 units.
For the 4 units. 3 of them are done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's my problem. Mr. O'Connell, by the way, almost died, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry
He
to
was
hear that.
really, he's really in bad shape. He's just
What
starting to get
happened?
better. He has a bad pancreas.
Oof.
So, I had been talking to him about the completion of these 3 units. They're
Mhm.
done. They have been done. The problem is, I want to get a certificate of occupancy for this.
Right.
In order to do that, I can't find the electrical inspection from the fire department.
Mhm.
I went to Concord, I went to Northfield, I went to Tilton. All I found there was stuff that was supposed to be done
Mm-hmm.
from a walkthrough they did. And I don't know if that was done, because I have not myself been in these, inside here.
Okay.
So.
Do you know who the electrician was?
Yeah, he was a licensed guy. I think I can get you the guy's name.
But I mean, maybe he has some record of what he did. No?
No. The plumber, and the other people that constructed these units, I can't find anything on it. So I'm not sure how the town and myself can approve these things for the certificate of occupancy. You're welcome to come and inspect them. The
Mhm.
code enforcement officer is welcome to go in there. The fire department's welcome to go in there.
Okay.
I personally seen them done,
Mm-hmm.
and you know how fussy I am?
Yeah.
I was totally impressed when I seen it.
Well,
That was when it was first done. This is 5 years ago, so I don't know what the conditions of these things are in right
Right.
now.
well, I assume if we're going to call you, that if the code enforcement or the fire department, they need to call and just let you know they're coming too?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Just so we- I
That
just
was
want-
that was in part of the agreement,
Okay.
I believe, that
Yeah.
Mr. Cirillo agreed on.
Okay.
That if you guys wanna go up there, you can go up there. And if there's any code violations, gotta fix them,
Right.
okay?
Okay, so maybe, I mean, I don't know, I can talk to the code enforcement officer, or we can,
Yeah.
and also to the fire,
Yeah.
and see if anything can be done that, you know, so that
Get
you
the
could get
CO.
the CO.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I spent weeks going from place to place to place,
Mhm.
talking to Brad, talking to the guy that actually, one of the fire guys down there that keeps the records. And
Oh, Tim
two-
Gilbert.
I'm not sure what his name is. I've been talking to so many people,
Yeah.
I'm mixed up. And they couldn't find anything. The only thing they found is a bunch of stuff that had to be done, and I said, do you know if they completed them? I don't know.
Mm.
That's what they said. So there is some stuff that's
Yeah.
outstanding. Whether it was done or not, I am not putting into that information, because, like I say,
All right,
when they were
well,
first done, I went in there and I said, man, I can't believe that you did this, Rick. You know,
yeah.
so, because
Well-
you know how Rick was.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so anyways, yeah, I believe this is the front of the first building out in the front.
Yeah.
And some of this might change in here.
On the drainage and,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
As well as some of this might change.
Okay. Yep. Well, I guess,
And that should stay, pretty much.
yeah. Well, I certainly understand. I know we even had to adjust our own zoning because of the number of changes that took place at the state level on wetlands.
Uh-huh.
So it does not surprise me that, you know, although you had a wetlands permit, it is expired, and so now you have to match
Oh, yeah.
and meet all the new requirements.
Yeah.
So I guess, as you well know, I'm saying it more for the record, that when you get your new approval or permit,
Right.
that whatever the plan is going to be, that the town will get a copy of it as well, that we'll put with your
Oh, sure,
site plan.
yeah, sure, that's not a problem.
Um,
My only problem is that when I told him I needed to have this done in 60 days, someone had already been down there to talk to them, and they didn't seem to think that, there's not really a lot of changes, it's
Right.
basically stormwater management.
Yep,
And they didn't think that that was gonna be a real big holdup. So I
it might
think,
not be.
yeah, so I'm hoping it gets done. So if it doesn't, I'm hoping that the town would be a little bit lenient on this 120 days. Because if the state holds it up,
Mhm.
there's really nothing we can do about it.
I understand.
As long as we have progress moving forward,
I understand.
I'm pleading with you guys
Yeah.
not to beat this guy up anymore,
Right.
all right? So basically that's it.
Okay, I guess the only thing that I would ask is, we would like to see these condo documents before they get recorded, so that
Oh,
we,
yeah, he's-
because we never got to see them
Yeah, no,
after
he's,
the changes.
you have to look at them anyways.
Yeah.
He says he was gonna send a package down
Because,
with
right,
with
all
everything,
right,
and then you guys can review them, and if
Yeah.
you guys accept it, you'll just
Yeah.
give him a phone call or whatever.
okay.
He'll be in touch with you.
Because I think the only thing that we have that was ever was recorded was just the original site plan.
That's it, yeah.
But there's no, buildings, there's no nothing, so,
That's why he needs that last piece of the puzzle,
right,
the convertible space that
Yeah.
that last house is gonna
Right.
go on.
okay.
And I mean, we all know that if that convertible space is not touched in 5 years, then he only gets one more crack at it.
Yeah,
Because I think after 5 years, you can reapply to the state, and the state will give you another 5 years, and after that, you're all done, you can't develop it.
right.
Mhm.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're plugging along there, trying to get things together so
Yeah.
you can get it.
I know it's been a long, drawn-out process for you guys, and for myself too.
Well, I was gonna
and-
say for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, so I wanna get this cleaned up
Mhm.
as much as you do, because I live next door.
Yeah.
So,
Even I remember talking about it 2 years ago.
Huh?
Even I remember talking about it 2 years ago.
Sure, sure.
I remember
When I was on
talking
the
about
planning
it.
board,
I
it was
know
like-
you have, but I
Yeah.
didn't pay attention 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been quite a while, so.
Yeah,
There's a new owner, and he'll, so far, everything I've told him, he's come up with the money, he's approved everything, and
Mhm.
he wants to see it, he wants to see the problems go away.
oh, I
To
understand.
be quite honest with you, he wanted to knock everything down.
Mhm.
And he says, I think I'll just come up here in the summer and stay in the big house. So, that just might happen.
Well, you did for a long time, didn't you?
What?
You did for a long time, didn't you?
That's right, that's
Yeah.
what I did, so we'll see what happens, but anyways, I'm hoping that within a week you guys will have the condo docs.
Okay,
And,
and we'll review them and,
yeah,
and after we review them, we'll let him know,
sure,
All we want to do is just that there was certain conditions that were put on that had to do with the condo docs and information that went into them.
mhm,
And, we never got to see them
yeah.
because
That's no problem.
the economy went, and,
Tell me about it, them condos I got up the road is like killing me, the taxes are killing me on them. I sold a piece of land that the town assessed at 75,000. I just sold that for 50. No one wanted to buy it. The front unit, which was assessed at 134, 110. I sold that for.
wow,
Who the hell wants to look at the road?
yeah,
And I'm gonna tell the town, I'm gonna take a picture of that and say, how can you say this unit is worth more than the back units, looking at the water in 300 feet of beautiful land?
well, did you make an appointment and come in and sit down with Lauren
It's,
and talk to her?
be quite honest with you, it's a waste of my time. I've done it a couple of times. I put abatements in,
Mm.
but this time, when I come back, we will go to court.
Yeah.
Mhm. If I have to take them to court, I will go to court, because what people don't really understand about real estate especially the person that evaluates the real estate. When you have property that is your secondary piece of property, and the way the economy is right now, if they can't get it for nothing, they're not gonna buy it. And that's the truth.
Well,
I've got people, I think I have one of the back units sold. And you know what I have to sell it for, to sell it? $110,000. That's ridiculous. But it's either that's my break-even point. It cost me $110,000 for each unit from build out. Either break even or keep paying taxes
yeah.
since 2007.
Well, the other thing is,
It's just, they don't realize that when the market went down in 2007, everything went down. And it's like, they're still taxing you on, when was the last time the town had an evaluation?
Well, it was 2009 when
Yeah.
they
They
did the
did
last
one in
evaluation,
9.
and they're going to do it in 2014.
Yeah, well, I
and
mean,
they'll be back.
2009, the
on
market
its
had
way.
already taken a
Double.
dip.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how they can, like I said, I had to sell a piece of land for 50 grand just to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because it's either that or pay the taxes. It's been sitting there since 2007.
When did you
8,
sell that?
9,
Nick?
10,
I
11,
haven't
12,
seen that.
13, 6 years, you know, in all the condos, so.
Did you sell that recently, Nick?
Excuse me?
Did you sell that recently? Because I haven't seen that come through yet.
Oh, it's all recorded. It has to be recorded. The land's
Yeah.
been recorded and the front unit has been recorded. So if you haven't got it, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, no, I checked all the time, so I've got a message. Do you know when that was, so I can check it?
Uh-oh.
Let me see now.
Recent time?
It was sometime, I believe, in September.
Okay, I'll read
Yeah, a
it.
guy by the name of Jeff and, what's his wife's name? I don't know.
What's the last name?
I can tell you, it's, you know the guy that owns the Jakira Auto, that's running Jakira Auto, you guys know him very well,
Yeah.
Jeff. He bought the front unit, and he bought the piece of land, because he wants to put a house there someday on the lake. 1,600 square feet
Yeah.
of property for $75,000. I calculated that out per square foot. It's like $75 per square foot, or $85 per square foot. It's just,
Yeah.
well, we don't do it by square footage. I says, that's how I'm looking at it. So I don't know
People
how do wait you, and you know, the problem is when I asked them, show me a piece, 1,600 square feet on the lake, to compare that to, I couldn't find anything, and neither could they.
You talked to Lauren?
Oh, boy.
Did you? I mean,
Of course. Of course I talked to her. But now, I mean, it's sold. So now I'm gonna look for a couple of years in abatement and say, see, this is all it's worth.
Yeah.
Unless you can prove to me that it was worth more, you've gotta show me the proof.
Yeah.
Will you just schedule him for another follow-up, or?
Should we schedule him for another follow-up, or what?
Well, why don't we leave it that, because he can come in on a conceptual basis.
He can come in anytime.
So he can call and say, we've got this done,
Sure,
you know,
okay.
and then come
I mean,
in.
I think the next thing you guys are gonna see are the condo documents. You
Okay.
want me to come in, are you guys just gonna review them and say, Nick, they were all set, we're gonna send them back to the...
We can do that.
Yeah.
You know, if we have any questions, we'll know how to
Yeah.
get a hold of you.
I
so-
think the best time to come back is after these drawings are done.
Okay,
I will bring Eric Mitchell with me
okay.
and Phil Hastings with me, and we'll go over page for page. How's
Okay.
that?
That sounds good.
Sounds good.
That way, everybody...
Just call and let us know when you want to do
Oh,
it.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So I'm hoping, like I say, if he can get it done earlier, I'll give you guys a call.
Okay,
And I'm hoping he can get it done a little bit earlier, so.
okay. And
Yes,
I'll
seems to-
see what I can find out and let you know as far as your CO.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
But that it really needs to be done, you know,
Yes.
so,
It does,
All
and
right.
we know it does, so,
yeah. All right then.
okay?
Have a
All
nice
right.
night. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in. Nick.
Okay, yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Have a good evening, guys.
Yeah.
You too.
Okay. Now what?
I'm going to give this to you, what he gave us.
Okay,
This contract with Mr.
All right, ready? Moving on. Other business, approval of the September 24, 2013 minutes.
I make a motion to bring the minutes of the September 24th, 2013 meeting to the floor.
All those in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Who seconded? I didn't even hear.
Rich?
Richard did again. Okay.
jumping the gun here.
No.
Is the latest copy, revised copy, the one that you sent out in the mail?
No, it's the
No.
one on the table.
All right.
I had done that one, and Sandy made the changes, and I
Well,
had sent them the one, because I was, I was, no,
So these aren't,
the
this
one,
was,
which ones? The ones that say,
I took a copy, I printed these out from my computer.
okay,
They're not the right ones?
the ones with your changes on them?
Yeah.
Yes, they should be.
Well,
Or the ones on the
They're the
table.
ones you sent to me, sent back after I sent them to you.
Yeah, those are, yeah.
Okay.
And I sent, but I had already mailed the rough draft, the first one, because it
Oh.
hadn't come back yet, and I was
Oh,
mailing it,
okay.
and I had to go, so.
But now did you get James' changes too?
No.
I changed the first one, you changed it too, so let's look at what you changed, and
Oh, okay.
I mean, I may agree with.
Well, it's
I
because
just had a bunch
I
of-
was getting them ready to mail, and I
Oh,
hadn't
okay.
gotten yours changes back yet, so I
Oh,
mailed
okay.
them. Then I got your changes, and I emailed them,
Okay.
and they're copies on the table.
Yep.
With the changes.
I think on page 2, in the third paragraph down, it says, Mr. Preston asked, what permits would be required once the co-op has completed the site plan variance approvals?
Mhm.
And it says, Ms. Plessner stated, I think that should be he will need, not you will
Oh,
need.
yeah, yeah.
Or would you want to say the co-op will live?
Yeah,
Or
probably.
the co-op,
Yeah.
yeah, the co-op, that's probably
Okay.
even better,
The
stated the
co-op,
co-op.
yeah.
Will need a building permit.
This is the little thing, under the second paragraph,
What
Ms.
page?
Plessner stated if
Oh. Okay.
if the maps could be located, it would help the surveyor doing the newest survey,
Yeah, the newest.
Right.
okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Just a little thing in the third paragraph, there's a 1, 2, 3, fourth line down,
Mm-hmm.
the co-op, it should just be capitalized.
Okay.
Other thing, the third paragraph down, Mr. Preston asked what permits would be required once the co-op has completed a site plan and received variance approvals.
And receives, okay.
We're really killing this.
Well,
Just the one paragraph.
Yeah.
That paragraph is,
Well, I think I rewrote the whole paragraph, because
Yeah.
Capitalize that up too.
I couldn't correct, it just wasn't making sense.
I know,
I know, I had a hard time with it.
Hold on, I'll do this, capitalize this C here.
but that's good. That's good.
Correspondence, is that the deadline for the grant letter, October 9th,
Oh,
2019?
I think it's supposed to be 13.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay.
Whoops.
Gee, that's a long ways
It
away.
is.
Well, I saw that.
This is around the next market crash.
Yeah. Will there be anything there for a grant then?
Not even that long right now, they're gonna decide something.
Yeah. 401Ks is gonna go to pot right now.
Oh, down at the bottom under the 214 budget,
Mm.
I think the last sentence should be, the board agreed to level fund the budget.
Oh, level fund.
Yes.
Okay.
Instead of the way it is.
Oh, level fund the budget, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
The board agreed what?
To level fund the budget.
Oh, okay.
Instead of to hold the
And
level
I gotta
of
put a
funding.
space there too.
Yeah.
It should have it, which is mine.
It kind of says it all simply.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Correspondence. Yeah, the magic purple folder today. Do we have the magic purple folder today? Those are her.
So it's what you dressed up all, so.
I had to go
I usually,
Get
once
a
the
grant
site
that
plan,
was
I wait a couple
awarded the
weeks
senior
and
center
then
by
if something
Franklin
comes up
Savings
about
Bank.
it
That's where
again.
I've been.
Well,
Oh.
once it's
That's why I'm
been
dressed
signed
up.
and put away,
Okay.
I get rid of
Right.
it too, 'cause she has
That's all.
First on our correspondence is from the state DOT, driveway permit for 313 Lancaster Hill Road.
the name on that.
John Hartford. Oh, wait. That's who it's to. Is that who it's for?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, oh, it says 262 Lancaster Hill Road, but this is for 313 Lancaster Hill Road.
Mm-hmm.
Permission is hereby granted to construct a driveway, entrance, or exit approach adjoining Lancaster Hill Road pursuant to location and specifications as described below. Let's see.
You don't have to put the vote.
No. It's approximately 0.37 miles west of Green.
He just wants to have it paved, but because he's on
Oh.
Caleville, he has to get a DOT
Oh,
permit.
That's all you need.
all right,
Yeah.
next one. Driveway permit, 245 Caleb Hill Road, Stephen J. Decado.
Yep, they're paving too.
Paving too, all right,
Yeah.
everyone's paving, sweet. Let's see, a salute to thank you, oh, salute and thank you. Please join the Lakes Region Planning Commission to celebrate Kimon, or Kimon, Goulet's retirement. Kimon,
Mhm.
Goulet's retirement.
Yep,
Executive Director from January 1985 to January 2014.
right.
Monday, November 25th from 4:30 to 6:30. The flagship ballroom at the Chase House.
And there we-
No open bar.
Is
Let's
it
see.
a cash bar?
Yeah, that's not this. Open bar, you can count on us being there. Let's see, this is a communication,
On the record.
telecommunications, law, developments and guidance. New Hampshire Municipal Lawyers Association and Crean Law Office once again present a timely and important seminar on a topic of keen importance to New Hampshire local governments.
What is he gonna give a lecture on?
Current status of federal and state law regulations on local government authority, including shot clock requirements, preserving and enhancing local control authority, right-of-way issues, what to expect in coming developments.
And when is it?
It is October 24th from 1 p.m. to 4:15
Where?
New Hampshire Municipal Association offices at 25 Triangle Park Drive, Concord, New Hampshire.
Yep.
What are their costs?
Yeah, and that page you just looked at.
Oh, let's see. $30 for planners, local officials, and administrators. Registration fees must be received on or before October 11th.
Uh-oh.
Oops.
Well, no, we got 2 days, 3 days, 2 days.
They have a typo in their memo. All right,
Everybody makes them.
let's
Do you
see.
have that in your machine?
Probably.
Would you send it to me if you do?
Okay.
Navigating housing's future. Let's see, this is Center, New Hampshire, October 17th from 8 a.m. to 12:30. What is this about? Times are changing in New Hampshire as the state moves through economic, demographic, and social changes. Creating housing that meets local needs can be a powerful way to support communities as they adapt to these shifts. We'll explore what the future in New Hampshire may hold, including how changing demographics and new demands may influence the housing market. Dennis DeLay, an economist with the New Hampshire Center for Public Policy Studies, and Russ Tebow, president of Applied Economics Research, will present preliminary results of a new study commissioned by New Hampshire Housing. A panel discussion of the studies results will follow with the added.
When is it?
October 17th, 8 to 12:30 at the Center of New Hampshire Conference Center at Radisson Hotel in Manchester.
Tebow.
Tebow.
So you can't get jumps and quarterback.
No, it's Tebow, T-H-I.
Oh.
P-ball.
Tebow, I always call it Tebow. State of New Hampshire Department of Transportation, 262 Lancaster Hill Road.
That's the first permit.
All right.
there.
All the correspondence. So we're good.
Okay.
All right.
Just a second.
You don't just second the car.
Other business. Number 1, master plan.
Okay.
Review, may vote to adopt.
May I say something about this? I
Okay.
don't mind if we want to adopt it, but I would like to add an addendum to the back of the master plan. I attended a committee on the mitigation. It's called the Mitigation Plan Update. And what it is it plans for disasters, natural and man-made disasters in our area. Make sure that we have people like the police chief, you know, there's a protocol if something's going to happen, say an ice storm, something. How do you get people to a shelter where there's heat? If there's flooding, how do you make sure that you've notified everyone to leave an area and come back and check to make sure they left the area? But anyway, this is what the hazard mitigation, if our gas company over there on 140 had an explosion or a big leak of some kind, you know, so how are you going to protect people? This is primarily what this plan is. Well, the other day when we were talking, one of the people that was there was from Homeland Security, and she helps. There are federal monies every year that are released for grants to communities, and primarily it's used for, say, if you have an area that floods all the time and you want to enlarge the culverts and the catch basins and stuff, that you can apply for grants and they will help pay for this improvement. So it seems like something, I know every year Dennis and his guys are always doing maintenance on them and cleaning them out, you know, especially before storms, so that the stormwater has someplace to go. And sometimes we have one, like we had one up here, that he had to put in a larger catch basin because of the volume of water. So this would give him an avenue to apply for grants to help do these jobs. Well, part of the thing that they do look at is, well, do you have anything at all in your master plan concerning some kind of a hazard plan? There really, although we have a lot of good stuff in our master plan, I didn't really read anything in this one that would qualify as a master plan for what you would do in a case like this. So I thought I would I have the other, from 2008 plan. It's updated every couple of years, especially as the area grows, you get new stores, things like that. So I was going to use some of the information from the old plan and just write a couple paragraphs to go into our master plan on what the town has done, what we are currently looking at, and the future needs as far as the hazardous plan. We are working right now, and we have one more meeting, and then the new hazardous plan will be written for the town. So anyway, I thought it certainly would be easy enough to write some little something to add to the master plan, and this way, should we have the need to apply for these grants, having something in our master plan already would be, advantage, because they do look at what the town is doing before, giving these grants
Makes
out.
sense.
So I don't want to change what we have here at all. I just figured I would write like
I just read an article in the paper,
mm-hmm.
2 days ago, and I can't remember what town, but they were addressing that very thing.
Yes.
It was their master plan, and they were adding that because of the needs in the future.
So anyway, so I thought I would write it. It could, I looked at different areas that might be added, but it would be just as easy to make, appendix in the back, mitigation plan, and have it in there.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be anything that would change any of this, but it would be,
You could almost do it in an outline form.
yes, well, that's kind of what I thought I would do, and I
Yeah.
have started it, but unfortunately I didn't get to finish it before the meeting tonight. So what I will do is I will finish writing what I think we should have in there, and I will email it to you all so you can read it. If you find something about it that you would like to see changed, or, the wording, whatever it might be, do that and then send it back, and then I can send it to Gus to put into, whatever font she has ended up with. And it could be added right to the back as an
Right,
appendix.
it could just be,
Yeah.
it'd be easy.
I don't know, not about the master plan, but something that, I don't know how many people have been following the situation in Alton with workforce housing.
Yes.
Have you been following that?
Well, yes, I have, for quite a while. I've talked to a few people involved in
If
that.
you see articles on it, you might want to read it, because we've had that issue before, and since it's all around us, it might
Well-
come up again, so.
What kind of housing?
Workforce
Workforce
housing.
housing.
Okay.
But one thing I think that the board has to understand is, I had a long talk with the attorney about this, and although we don't have anything per se on workforce housing in our zoning, pretty much what we do have in our zoning would cover most subdivisions and neighborhoods that might go in, apartment buildings, stuff like that. But the main thing, if you read the workforce housing, which I have done, and I have a copy at home, it's only about this thick, the main thing is there is nothing the town can do to stop it from happening.
It came up when, what Meadows,
Lockman Meadows?
Lockmere Meadows came up. And if you will recall, there were people whose names will not be mentioned
Right.
at this table who were very against that.
Yes.
And I did a lot of research on it,
Yeah.
and Sandy did a lot of research on it. And as Sandy said, there is absolutely nothing we can do about it.
Well, you can't stop it from happening.
They're attempting to do it in Alton. They're
Yes.
causing a lot of trouble. So if you see any articles, be sure to read them, because I'm
Yeah.
sure things seem to spread from one place to the other. And we've already gone through it.
Yeah.
At least twice that I know of. And there was a
Actually-
member of the planning board who was blamed for the first part of it.
Mhm.
And it wasn't that planning board member's fault. It was what had to happen because it was the law of the land.
Right. But also, the way it was explained to me down, I went to the LGC, and there was wording in there. I said to her, I said, well, we already have several places already in town, and we have mobile home parks, so we have a lot of workforce or low-income housing. She said, well, that's fine that Tilton does, but they don't just look at the town, they look at the county. So if there's another town in your county that has none, you don't have enough workforce housing. So it's looked at in a much bigger area. So if this area over here is totally devoid, you don't have enough. Right, you don't have enough. So, and in there, they also say, what is the wording that they use? Adequate amount. She said, what is adequate? It's not defined. So even though you may say we have an adequate amount of workforce housing, their attorney can look at you and say, no, you don't.
In other words, you can pick whatever number you want to use to apply a number.
Right.
But that's why I think it behooves us to work with places and help as much as we can with like a Gaslight Village.
Yes.
They're really making an effort to, I think, do something and improve that.
Right.
Or to work with the developer for Sherryland.
Yep.
That's coming along. I've driven up there
Yes.
a couple of times, and he's got some really, he's actually even got a modular, mobile home with a garage.
I've been
Have
there
you
for a
seen
couple
it?
months, so.
Yeah, the homes he's putting in are very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So, I mean, to me, it's a great thing because it's a beautiful park. I don't know if any of you have ever been up there.
They got
but-
beautiful red maples up there.
Oh,
my
I
God,
know,
when they're
and the lay of the land, it's hilly and stuff.
And the homes aren't right on top of each other like
Right.
some parks,
Right.
like you sneeze
And-
and the other person says, because then it's like.
I don't
next
know,
door,
you know,
know?
as you come down the hill, you go into it and then go down the hill. There was I think it was an abandoned one that was the very last one down.
Down on the right side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, on the left side.
Oh, so
You
on top
go
of the hill
down
and
there.
up.
You
Okay.
go, you come down the top of the hill, it's the very bottom of the hill. It sets over on the
Yeah,
left.
okay, but,
He's in there, he's gutted it. He has gutted it and is completely redoing that. I believe that's a modular home, I don't think that's a mobile home.
Right.
I think that one is, but you can see if you look inside what he's done to it. So I think, it behooves us as a board
Right.
to work with people
Support
like
those
him
things.
and to support them, because it's not gonna go away.
Mhm.
And I think as the economy continues in the path it has been for the last few years, and I don't see I see maybe some ups, but not like it was 10 years ago.
Well, I
That we
think
need to work there.
one thing, I mean, I have no objections. I mean, that's always been my motto. When people walk in here, I'm here to help them do what they want to do, but stay within the regulations of the town. So let's see what we have to do to get you to fit. But in our mobile home ordinance or regulations, it does make reference to nothing before 1995, and it has to be by local codes. But I really would say to you, it's time to move that number up, to say 2005 or something like that, because a 1995 trailer today, most of them are in pretty sad shape.
Can you word it so that it's, X number of years from the current fiscal year? So that it's a sliding scale all the time? And you always bring
I
it
don't
up?
That's
know.
a good idea, though.
It is a good idea,
Very
but
good idea, I think.
when it went along with what the Boca codes were at the time that they put it in zoning, but now, of course, it's outdated. So maybe we should find out now what the Boca codes, what year they're doing, and just say to coincide with the minimum year of the current Boca codes. That way you would always,
Somebody else is making it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So we should look into that and see exactly.
think that's a good idea.
the-
Or do what he said,
Yeah.
it's, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't have to change the ordinance, the wording ever. It's like, okay, I mean, if you're, it's a 20-year scale, a 15-year, 18-year scale.
Yeah.
From the current fiscal year, and you leave
Right.
it blanket like that. You can sit in a master plan forever,
That's true. Well,
That's
this
true.
is in our zoning. The only thing we did at the time is, because the state does update Boca codes, and they have a minimum in that Boca code for, whenever they do that. And that's what was there the year that was changed, and it's still the same, so it needs to be updated.
Yeah.
just so you don't end up with old dilapidated mobile homes being drug into town that are really fire hazards, so.
Yeah, you really wouldn't want somebody bringing in something that's 95.
No, that's, I
That's a
mean, that's,
15-year life on those things.
yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from my neighbor, who's probably way beyond that.
I got one across the street from me that I think was brought in the 60s.
Yeah.
Oof.
So anyway, that's one thing we should look at, and it kind of goes along. It's not really forcing people to, it's more, in my mind, it's more keeping the safety and, the individual in mind too, because some of the older ones, the wiring and everything is not going to be as updated as they are today, so. But anyway, that is something, and Jane's absolutely right. Nothing can be done about this. If they come through and they do the site plan process and it's allowed by zoning, then really we treat it like anything else, and it gets its approval after we've made sure that safety has been, and you go through the whole thing. I mean, sometimes it's unfortunate, but in the past there have been members who had their own personal hang-ups about things and their own vendettas, and you can't, it's like I've always told people especially when they join the board, doesn't matter that you don't know anything, you will learn. That comes just from sitting from meeting after meeting. You pick it up whether you want to or not, you learn it. But I said the important thing is that you can sit down at that table when there's people out there and you can clear all the bias out of your mind and just listen. All you care about is what they're saying and does it fit what it says in front of you. And, if you can't do that, then go find another board. Because
zoning.
yeah, it makes it hard, if you have somebody that's being,
3 more things.
Okay,
Other
sorry.
business.
sorry.
Number 2, discuss Tilton School Field received funds to add lighting. Do they need to amend site plan?
But they had to,
They had the conduit, remember, they put all the conduit in.
right, but wasn't, no, they had
They didn't.
They had
for
kinda
lighting in
showed
their
them.
original plan.
Well, their hope was that I thought was that they were gonna,
The conduit
hopefully get
was for
funding
future
for it.
use.
Right.
And we
For
talked
lighting.
about it.
Yeah.
Well, they
We
said
talked
when they were
about how it had to
constructing
be
it.
cast,
Yeah,
that it had to be downcast,
Yep.
and it couldn't be
right.
interfere with the people across the street, because there
Right.
were houses there, there was a big discussion about it.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think you led all the objections about it, and I thought we came to a consensus.
And
So-
they said at the time when they were building it that they didn't have the money for the lights, but they were
Right.
gonna put the
Right.
conduit in so that when
wanted
they
it for
got the
for when
money.
they had it, they didn't have to
Yeah.
dig it all up
Yeah.
and do it all over
Right.
again,
Right.
right.
So anyway, they did get the money, and now they want to go ahead and put the lights up too, and they're asking, do they have to come back, or was it discussed enough at the time, can they go ahead and put it in? Or do they have to come back and do an amended
I
site
thought that
plan?
plan had the lighting,
I did too,
Plan
and
in
I
it.
first
Yes.
thought it was over
and we
discussed.
discussed it.
Yeah.
That,
I
the
did
type
too.
of lighting.
Did we put a restriction on time for the
Nope.
lighting?
No?
That's the only thing I would be
No, I don't
concerned
believe
They
we
don't-
did, because
well-
they didn't have an idea of funding and how long it would take.
Right, they had no idea when they get funding for it.
Must have been nice to get money that quick, huh?
Yeah. Well, and they're starting
It's
a,
not surprising.
they're starting a
Yeah.
campaign for fundraisers
Right.
to get more funding.
Yeah.
So that's all,
It's all
the
six
board
for
met
today.
and they wanna move forward to get
The
more
only thing,
funding.
the only thing I would have a concern is lighting, a game at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night for the residents. They're gonna have lights in the neighborhood.
No,
I don't
that was
think they're
part
gonna
of the
have them
discussion.
that
That's what we
Really
talked
talked
about,
about,
we've
yeah.
got
Like she said, the only time they
High
would do it
school.
is in the fall, because that's the only time the field would really actually be used, is this time of year. And most of the games don't go that
Their
long.
position was that, it's a high school and they have cutoff times anyhow for start times and such, so they weren't gonna be running anything,
And-
like- and
yeah.
it wasn't a public use field, so they weren't gonna be.
I've just heard
running
things that
so-
they're gonna allow some of the local schools to use the field too, so I don't know.
Even if they did, and I mean, I know as a good neighbor, they do, just like they have ice skating, and they have certain nights that they allow the public to do ice skating, and they may very well have times that they allow the townspeople or the town school to use that field for a special game or something, I don't know. But I think really, you know, the way I looked at it is the only thing they need to know, which we've already discussed, is you just outline the fact that, yes, this lighting has to be downcast, it has to, you know, they've already talked about that, but if you write to them and say, or call them and just say the same things we talked about in the meeting, about the type of lighting and the candle watts and not getting off into the neighbors, you know, so that, but they even have pictures of the type of lighting they were gonna put in, so that was all part of the site plan.
And if they let another school, high school, use it, they're gonna have the same restrictions on hours as Tilton School.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
So I don't really see to where they have to do an amended. I
Kind
think
of,
they're pretty well
kind of in the
covered.
neighborhood, and I'm just thinking if, you know, a game gets out at 8 o'clock, and there's a lot of people there, a local team would draw more than the Tilton School, that's all. And I'm just thinking of.
I don't think they use Cedar Street as a shortcut.
No. Well, I also know that they're not letting the buses use Prospect Street.
Well, they were
They
supposed to
didn't
use,
go
for
west.
construction, they were supposed to go through the school, and I know they came down Prospect Street.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because they didn't know better?
Oh,
Because I know a lot of
That's the point,
times.
because that wasn't allowed. No, that
During
was-
the, when they took down that house,
Mm-hmm.
the trucks all went down Prospect Street.
Yeah, that might have been because they were the construction company and not.
Well, but that was supposed to be part of the whole thing, when they remove all that soil, there's a lot of soil that they're gonna remove there, and I thought that the whole plan was that they were gonna use School Street, but I don't.
I don't think it was discussed at then. I think it was just discussed that the buses would not use.
Yeah, they said the
Prospect
buses
Street.
would not be
I thought the
using.
buses all, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Hauling out.
they'd be using School Street, which
I mean,
they
we-
do,
I know,
mostly.
right, but they didn't for this phase, so I'm just worried about the next phase.
No,
when
I
they-
mean the buses.
Yeah,
They were talking about the buses.
yeah, the
Buses.
buses, I thought the construction too. but maybe-
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Construction
I'll
companies
make
kinda
comments
use what they
about
want.
Construction
That's
and things such for.
I would think it would be, I would think that we would have wanted them to go down Prospect Street as opposed to school, because if they went down school, they were gonna be right in the middle of the downtown area with the rotary and everything else. Prospect Street would take them straight out to either the highway or to,
Mhm. Or the only thing he said was about the buses, he didn't want them
that's
going
right,
down.
that's the only thing.
Yeah, he said
Because
they'd be
School
hard to
Street's
turn
not as steep as
Right.
what Prospect is.
and better line of sight to pull out.
Yeah,
Turnaround
better line of
situation,
sight.
The off-street parking, the widening of the road,
Yeah.
that was all part of that discussion.
So the board feels that they do not have to come back? Is
Correct.
that what's
Yeah.
the,
I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
I
okay.
think we talked it to death.
I
Be
didn't-
different if it were never mentioned. But it was.
Went on and on and on and on.
Yep.
Are you saying that I beat something to death?
The shoe fix.
Okay, I will make sure I'll give them a call in the morning.
Number 3, discuss having a workshop on October 29th, Tuesday, to work on changes to zoning regs for 2014 ballot.
I mean, I would really urge you to have that meeting
I think we
if we
should have a
can.
meeting to talk about regulations.
Because we haven't really talked much. We had that public hearing, but we haven't done anything. And it's sneaking up on us
We got the little,
fast.
we got the little
Yes.
calendar here.
Well, I know we have to have our first public hearing, and I think it's in December.
Yeah.
So-
Well,
No,
Get our
January.
act together.
January, we have to have,
But
we
you're
have to
gonna have
have
the
it.
holidays in there, you're gonna have all sorts
Yeah,
of.
you gotta post it by January 10th,
Yeah,
All right, I think October 29th, yes.
yeah.
okay?
So it's
So,
just, it'll
It'll just be a workshop, there won't be any cases.
No
I am not,
conceptuals, no
nothing.
nothing. We're just gonna have a workshop to
How long
look
is
at.
that gonna
And we
take?
mean that.
Nothing, I
Because
won't schedule
Just
anything.
looking at our schedule, in December, we have a meeting on the 10th.
Yeah,
And then the second meeting will be Christmas Eve, and I'm pretty sure.
We're
none
not
of us
having
met.
one then.
we won't have
And
that.
then, the
calling
following
sick
week
for
is,
it anyway.
the following week would be New Year's Eve, so
Well, I'll
then
call
that puts
in
us
sick.
at January 14th.
So it would be
So we
nice to be
really-
able to have
we
that
really have a
public.
couple more meetings.
Yeah.
And then if you go back into November,
Yeah, but we haven't even done anything.
And it
and
would
then
be
if you
nice
go
if
to
we could work
November,
on
our
it.
second meeting is the week
And
of Thanksgiving.
have that first meeting in
Yeah.
December, and then
Yeah.
then if you need to.
Then you're ready for,
And then if you need you to have the second meeting, but you don't have to have a second one if you don't have any issues, right?
No, not if we don't have any issues, but we also don't know. We might get petitioned,
Yeah, because the petition,
So,
if somebody's got, it can only be
November
until
11th,
November
you-
11th to December
Yeah.
11th, so.
Okay, so we're meeting at 6
we're
o'clock
on here
on the
at
29th.
You want to meet at 6?
6 o'clock?
6?
6 o'clock?
Wanna-
Yeah.
Eric, can you want to meet at 6 o'clock on the 29th?
Sure.
Okay, and that way we can be in and out?
Yep.
6 p.m.
If you have ideas of things that you feel that are in the zoning that we ought to consider changing,
Yeah,
right
please look
now.
at that signage.
Can you, when you send out a reminder, can you really stress the 6 p.m. just because of creature of habit? I look
Yeah.
forward to 6:30.
And have we heard anything from Vince Spiratori about whether or not the Main Street program would be willing to give us money for new signs?
I have not heard, I've word from him since that meeting.
Okay, just curious.
Send a
So-
reminder, stress the time.
But anyway, if you have any pet peeves about the zoning, it's like we should, on her one list about ideas, a couple of, new definitions. And she has this book, and I have a copy of it at home. It's just thick. It's what planners use. All it is words and their definitions.
Mhm.
So that would probably be a good thing for us to quickly get any definitions out of that we want. And,
Yeah, we need to review that sexual-oriented business
yes,
low-key.
we have
yeah.
to change that because the way it is right now, it'll get thrown out of court. Because the courts have changed things. They say you cannot now say that a person has to stay so many feet away from the school and things. All that distance and stuff has to come out. Get lost in court, and they just throw them out. So
Oh, like living
Dover
near
lost
schools and
that?
stuff,
Yeah,
that all
like-
got thrown out.
living near schools or
I
within
think it was
500
Dover.
feet or 1,000
It was the
feet,
Seacoast
all
area
that has to
somewhere.
come
I
out.
had a woman
So-
call me from Caleb Hill about a person living down the road and how come we didn't get notice and how can they live there, and I was like, we don't know.
Well, it's hard because I know we all have personal feelings
Mm.
about it. But the other thing we have to say to ourselves is if this person has served their time, well, first of all, part of this, when you go on this list, there's also young men who dated a girl that was too young. His name is on that list too.
Yes.
And some of that is like not really, I
It's
mean,
not right.
I don't think
It's
it's right that
because
they
the
should.
parents complain.
Right.
Yeah,
So you don't really know, not that there aren't monsters out there,
yeah,
but,
but you don't know who the monsters are,
right, you don't.
Unfortunately, we don't.
and who
And I
actually
think
qualifies as a monster.
And I think
who's
the
not.
only rule on that is they can't be within so many feet of a school. That
oh, but that even got thrown
for
out.
sexual predator, not
Yeah.
sexual predators.
That
Yes, I got
thrown
thrown out
out?
too,
They
Jane.
did?
Yes,
Oh my God, what is happening?
they got thrown out.
Hey, I
In
got-
several towns,
terrible.
Franklin,
Yeah.
it was a couple of towns that went to court on it.
That got thrown out. I thought the sexual businesses was what
No.
got thrown out.
You got one more.
Okay,
Farmers Market Agway.
yes.
Yeah, it looks like they're going back there again this
For another
year
winter.
for the winter. It looks like though, she said, I just got the phone call tonight. I haven't talked to her yet. She said that she had been in contact with the Gaudettes. They're letting her have Agway again for the winter farmers market. The Gaudettes would like to see her start November or December and run it through. Like Sandy said,
Great for all Thanksgiving.
she needs to do the same thing again, see the police, see the fire,
Yep. And
basically
have,
the same thing.
Have a detail service out
Yeah.
there to direct the traffic,
Oh,
otherwise
it's
it's a madhouse.
Crazy.
Well, Dennis was
I
on
need,
last time.
but I need to find out from her schedule, what she's looking at.
Yeah.
If she's looking at 2 days a week, like she did last year, or the 1 day a week. Like last year, didn't she do Saturday, Sunday? She did
Yeah,
Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday.
Did she in the winter too? I know.
Yes.
that
Yes.
she's-
Yeah.
Okay,
So I need to know,
Yeah.
police, fire, and she needs to send a schedule.
right. But especially the police, because we gotta have we know that the detail has to be there. We
Oh,
know
yeah.
that she generates that kind of traffic, so
And I believe, yeah, she knows she's gonna have
It's
that.
gonna
but-
be worse with Aspen than to go in and all the traffic from there.
Yeah, and that's a parking area that people used
Yeah.
for the vendors when they were setting up.
Right.
They'd set up and take their cars up there
Yeah.
to leave spaces open for the,
Yeah, and you might
People.
wanna mention that to her, that
I
that's no
will.
longer, that's
Well, yeah.
off limits.
Yeah.
yeah,
Unless she reaches an agreement with the landowner, I don't know.
well, I don't,
I don't
that's
think
gonna
that.
work.
Well, just,
That's not-
just
don't even
let her
tell
know
that.
that something's going in there, so she may not have that available
mhm,
unless she can make an arrangement with, the business.
which I don't think they'd probably be open on Sundays, but you never
Saturdays,
know.
Well, no, they're like a,
Are they open all the time?
Oh, Aspen?
You're a
Yeah.
franchise.
I
They
don't
are.
know.
Yeah.
I know they're open on weekends,
Oh, they are?
I think so.
I thought so.
All right,
Okay.
so we'll have our workshop and,
Any other business?
no,
Make
I
a
make a
motion to
motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Second.
And bread butter.
All those in favor?
Aye. Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
See you on the 29th.
Yes.
6.
It's the Halloween party, by the way. We didn't put that in.
Do we have to come in costume?
Yeah,
Oh, great.
yeah.
I got mine on already.
Me too.
Yeah.
A little witchy tonight, aren't we?
Executive drag.
Executive drag. Is that what you- costume?
Okay, let me shut this off, people.